everybody, welcome back to another GVB24 Loop Station reaction video, judge analysis, BizKit analysis, judge video. We made it to the semifinals, baby. Let's get it. The first semifinal battle we'll be getting into today is Matej versus SyJo, winners of their battles against 808 Bannon and Cardona, respectively. This battle took place a day after the quarterfinals happened, so we all had a day to kind of reset and have a fresh mindset after the frankly crazy quarterfinals that we saw the day before. We had no idea what to expect, but both of these guys worked really hard yesterday for their wins, so we were pretty sure that they were gonna just do it again today. But before we get into the battle, have you listened to my new EP? As long as these reaction videos keep getting more views than the actual album, I'm gonna keep asking. At the end of January, I released the EP called the Still Hungry EP. It features 3 tracks that I used at the USA Beatbox Championships back in November. It was a really fun event. I got 3rd place. Great time all around. And honestly, the material on this EP is some of my finest work, I think. I'm really proud of it. And I hope you like it too. Please give it a stream or like 1,000. Okay, bye. Let's just jump into this semifinal, shall we?
We have SyJo versus Matej. Matej was higher ranked and chose SyJo to go first. It is going to be starting on him. Left, right, side to side. Once again, I say the drei, you say the zwei and the eins. Let's get it poppin'.
Yeah, it was a fresh day. We were all looking forward to judging some semifinals and eventually finals. I love this chord stacking technique. It's so fun. Very pretty start already. Classic SyJo routine structure. These kicks felt a little bit off in the moment. I'm trying to find the groove. We all kind of are. Robin's closing his eyes. When he added the hi-hats in, it fell into place a little bit more, but it still had a bit of an off feeling. But it got better as time went on. Like the feeling didn't last very long at all. SyJo does that technique all the time in a lot of his songs. But it's not repetition, it's style. Always remember that, guys.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm great, SyJo. How are you?
I made the song for you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm on my way, you know I can't wait until I see you again.
This is already so beautiful. I could hear this on the radio easily.
You need to leave this all behind.
See, now the kicks aren't so bad feeling anymore. I'm grooving, putting on the headphones to make sure all the details are coming through and that the timing is maybe consistent with what I'm hearing through the speakers. Really smart use of the slowdown technique in the Mark II. This is structured super nicely. Great songwriting too. Pretty typical for SyJo, but his formula works. Oh, this was so funky live. It didn't have like the biggest like impact like as like a rage drop would necessarily or a Yasui drop, but it hit the right spot. If that makes sense. Like it did exactly what it needed to for what it was. It fit the song perfect. And if you have been following me, you know I'm a sucker for a good vocoder. So this is automatically my favorite part. Oh, so nice. I need that released now, SyJo. Get on it. Get on it, pal.
Solid start. Drops were lacking a little.
SyJo smashing that first round right here. We go over to Matej. You ready?
I want to touch on that a little bit more. So I was kind of saying, like, the drops weren't, like, punching me in the face, but they didn't need to. That's not what the song called for. That's not what the picture called for. And I respect that approach that he took because, you know, it's an approach that Robin took. It's an approach that AVH has taken where it's not about the drop necessarily. It's just about what the song calls for and being honest with your artistry. And with SyJo, he has a really good mix of kind of both of those things because he still has drops, but they serve the purpose of the song while still feeling impactful and worthwhile. The start was a little bit shaky with the timing of the one-shot kick drums, but once it got to that house section in the second half, it all squared away really nicely. I don't think I have much else to say about that round. It was just really solid. Definitely an earworm. I want to hear it at Tomorrowland. Get SyJo a set, please. Now, let's see how Matej answers this really solid round from SyJo.
It is on Matej. I say the drei, you say the zwei, and the eint. Drei!
I forgot he did this. How many counters have you seen done in Loop Station?
Okay.
That was so smart. Him and Yasweed both have that wittiness about them where they can just do something like that on the spot and then carry on as if it never happened. I look a little skeptical there because that spit snare was not super loud compared to the melody. The drums in general are a little lacking, I think.
Animal Crossing type.
Definitely KK Slider as fuck. It's good fun. I'm putting on the headphones because, again, like I said, the drums aren't coming through as strongly as like the other melodic elements, like the bass line. And this little oscillator melody, this like flute sounding thing, it's a really nice addition. But yeah, this bass line is kind of muddy, I guess. Still, the energy's up. And it's Matej, so he's gonna get the crowd involved. That's his specialty, is his ability to connect with the crowd.
You can't beat my swag.
I see what he was going for here, but the drums not being all that strong in this switch, as well as the bass line, and I tried to get a better look, or listen rather, in my headphones to see if it was coming out better there. Little chicken ass beat. But yeah, this bass line wasn't really hitting in the headphones either. I see the texture he was going for, but something about this mix just wasn't landing live. And even that lip roll was just kind of a, I don't know, questionable ending. Wasn't even in time with the ending of the track.
Started strong with the counter and the drum and bass, but fell off at the end a little bit.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Matej started strong with that counter. I think that counter was actually the highlight of that round. That was probably the most memorable thing for me. The round itself didn't really have the same kind of structural integrity that SyJo was bringing to the table. And not to say that every loop station round has to have that kind of song format structure, because I've had a bunch of songs that are just like drop, 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 keep going forever. But when you're against someone like SyJo, who's going to bring that, and it's like so unquestionably solid in that regard, you kind of have to be solid yourself. If there's ever a question mark structurally, like why are we going into this hip hop beat that isn't hitting the same way that the drum and bass was, those kind of things like stick out a little bit more, just because I didn't really have a question in SyJo's first round, maybe just in like timing of the drums, but the round itself from beginning to end was like, yeah, makes sense to me. Whereas with Matej, it felt a little more random, and that's part of his charm and his appeal, but I don't know, against someone like SyJo, the energy just felt more in his favor in my eyes. Matej was getting a bigger reaction out of the crowd just because of his energy, especially in the first half of his round. But yeah, the second half, the energy definitely was falling off a little bit. Round 1 I give to SyJo, like pretty handily, I think. But still big ups to Matej for that counter. That was a really smart move. Let's see what happens in the second round now that it's back on SyJo.
I say the drei, you say the zwei and the eins. In drei.
That's nice.
Tia Neb next to me doing a scale off of SyJo's Shout out Tia Neb, that's the guy. Yeah, like hearing these drums and their mix compared to Matej's, I was like, this is what I would prefer to listen to. Just sonically, musically. That beat scatter tech or beat shift tech, whatever it is, really smart. To make this reggaeton switch. Sounds really good. Again, very much on pace for a SyJo structure and SyJo style track. Especially in this cyberpunk mid-tempo genre that, I mean, his most famous routine, his most famous routine, Monster, has come from.
I've been caught inside the darkness again, and I can't remember when it began. Yeah, you should sing like this. The fear was crawling under my skin.
Nice little answer. Nice little battle response. This is so nice. A little major resolution. Yeah, just a great songwriter, this guy SyJo.
You know what's coming. 'Cause I'm the king of cyberpunk.
Yeah. Still keeping the battle while maintaining his musical integrity. This drop, I would have liked a little bit of sub underneath. Yeah, like there. Instead, it's just this granular delay thing. Yeah, there we go. The reggaeton switch felt really nice, especially with that filter pattern. I wish that drop, you know, hit just a little bit harder, but I still understand. I said good counter because Matej did a little crowd work thing as well, where he asked the crowd to sing. Good attempt. And now we're all seeing, wait, what is he building up for? There's 5 seconds left. There's no shot, right? And I'm stressing now.
Time.
Oh,
You hate to see it.
Sideways, we go back.
See if Matej
Back
can
to
run
the
with that.
Are you ready? He's ready once again. He's
So-
ready for the final round.
now the judges are getting to talking a little bit.
8, 9.
You think the time is fast? Maybe. It happened to me once against enemy. The timer was fucked up to 25 seconds. So I hope it's not.
Okay, before we jump into Matej's round, we're already suspecting that there may have been an issue. We all know SyJo, and we know that he's not the type to like have a miscalculation like that in terms of the structure of his round. And it all felt like it was going smoothly and according to plan. And then when the round ended, we were all really confused. And in that last minute, I don't know, it felt like we were watching the clock and it felt like the numbers were going down faster than they were supposed to. But that doesn't mean that it still wasn't 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Maybe like the clock was moving slower in the beginning of the round and then started speeding up towards the end, but it was still equal. Any number of things could have happened, but we just needed to be sure. Because GBB has had a history of timer malfunctions in the past, most notably with Elise in 2019 for his elimination, where he ended up beatboxing for 5.5 minutes instead of 4. Yeah, we just had to make sure that, you know, something like this wasn't happening for SyJo and that he was being treated fairly and still being able to do his round, because he seemed just as surprised as we were. So he must have felt like something was wrong as well. So now during Matej's round, we're still paying attention, but we have this thought in the back of our minds like we might need to check if something is up here with the clock. Let's get back into Matej's round.
I think the timer was fast.
Yeah, Frosty and Robin and Slizzer are all wondering what's happening on our end of the table with Christoph. I'm familiar with this round because it was his GBB wild card.
Boom.
Sounds good though. But yeah, this was his wild card, which he didn't need to put out because obviously he was already qualified. But anything for the views. And to just get music out there. It's a nice excuse. Wildcard season. But yeah, the drop is nice. Again, I wish that snare was just a little punchier. He's still performing pretty well. But a similar problem with his first round, it feels a little like, I don't want to say directionless, but the structure doesn't feel as sound as, you know, SyJo's previous round. Previous 2 rounds even. It's still great looping. It's just that feeling of like something holding it all together is kind of missing for me. Great vocals here. Also kind of a good answer, because SyJo was like, you should sing like this. And now Matej is singing really nicely. This is a classic Matej distorted Osbot drop.
Last one.
The texture on that is really nice. But as far as like Mark II drops go, it's pretty simple. Like just putting a tremolo on the bass line. And now we're all kind of congregating to check out this timer mishap. And once again, similar to the Rage vs. Duncan battle, I'm gonna be playing the entirety of what happened or what I recorded, because I do cut it at some point. We took a long time with this.
I agree.
Maybe a second. We're reviewing something here. Taking a look with our referee.
We're reviewing the VOD on the side.
As this is going on, the next battle will be the second semifinals. And as soon as we're done that, we're going to be getting into the solos as they review and let the judges go take a second. We're going to go and find out who
As you can see in the judge cam, I'm a little stressed. It's a really awkward position to be in.
Know how long should it be? Because we have a suspicion that the timer is a little bit faster than it should be.
I actually couldn't finish the second drop because I timed it and I also thought I should have had more time. I mean, this could be my mistake, of course, but I thought I could play my second drop.
And we looked at the timer and it seems like it's going faster than the second drop. But also for Matej, but he was in time.
Yes. We wanted to give Matej a fair shake as well, if the timer was fast.
I think I should have at least had 20 seconds left from my measurements at home. Again, it could be my mistake. I'm not excluding that, but I was curious.
We need a couple of minutes to check it. Is that okay with you? Because we're going to time it with another timer, go around and see if you can do it. If so, then
This is such a hard position to be in.
either you redo it or both redo it, so I can answer.
I would really like to do my second drop.
Okay. W for Christoph again, making the hard calls, man. That's why we have a ref for crazy situations like these.
So we got a couple of minutes with you.
Yeah, we can't accurately judge that. If the timer malfunction is real, we can't
This is
actually.
why we have our esteemed judging panel here. So
Be right back.
we're putting this out.
Okay. I do not miss this stressful feeling. So I'm just going to go and spoil what happened right now. I saw a comment on this video, under the original Swiss Beatbox video by SyJo himself, saying that he did in fact make a mistake with his time measurements, and that's why he wasn't able. He changed something in the beginning of his round that made it so that he didn't have enough time for his second drop later on. And we pulled up a timer on one phone, and we started it when SyJo's round started as well, and they both lined up to 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Even if the clock was moving a little faster towards the end at one point, somehow it all still lined up. So, after Scott Jackson did a lovely showcase, which I'm hoping Swiss Beatbox posts, but if not, become a member and you can watch the live stream. He pops off. I wanted to record it, but I needed to save storage on my phone for later battles. Anyway, now that this confusion is out of the way, we have to make a verdict, and there's a lot of mixed feelings happening in the judge panel and in the crowd, and we all can kind of feel that. So now we kind of just have to carry on and see what happens.
We're back. There was no timer error. It was a SyJo error.
How are we doing there?
Yes, we retimed the whole round and the timer was right, so no redo.
No redo, all right. But I got to do a showcase.
Big up, Scott Jackson.
With that being said,
Keeping the energy alive while we sort it all out.
SyJo on this side, Matej on this side.
And big ups to SyJo and Matej. This must have been really stressful to just sit around waiting.
Judges, we're going to you right now to find out the decision. The way this works is it's going to be a blue for Matej, a red.
I'm over here with my eyes closed. I'm sighing. I'm stressed.
Help me out, crowd. I say the three.
I'm feeling the judge pressure now.
To the judges.
Definitely.
3.
But ultimately, I vote SyJo.
Make some noise for Matej.
And I'm the only one to do it. And I will explain why. Right now, probably.
I voted SyJo, and the reason for that is because even though he was not able to finish his round properly, and that's a big mistake, all of his ideas, they worked for me. Matej had a few duds, but his ability to counter, I recognize that. I just think SyJo was the better songwriter and performer.
So yeah, kind of for the reasons I was already talking about, and I'll go into more depth.
It's really hard, especially when technical errors come in like that. But these things happen. Matej made it work.
It's tough indeed, Judge BizKit. It is tough indeed. Okay, so that was not how any of us expected the first semifinal battle to go. Big apologies to SyJo and Matej, both for this weird feeling of, unfairness and uncertainty in the loop battle. Standing up there still, probably just like, what is happening? We didn't know what was happening. Everybody was uncertain. We did the best we could with, the circumstances that were presented to us. Now, as for my vote, I still voted SyJo even after the timer error. SyJo's ideas were landing for me. For the most part, that one cyberpunk drop with the granular delay could have been a little stronger, but when it switched into the reggaeton, I was back on board immediately and I understood. Like, SyJo had clear visions and I understood them very thoroughly and deeply, especially with his first round. That was just, it was lovely. And it beat Matej's round by a long shot in my book. Now, while Matej's problems in his second round, I did feel for his first round as well, where, the structure wasn't really grabbing me, and the techniques overall were either a little simple or just weren't connecting with the crowd like how they should have been. I still think that given SyJo's timer error, that Matej took the second round. But in my brain, SyJo took the first round a lot harder than Matej took the second round. So the ratio in my head is still in SyJo's favor. It's a really tough decision to make, especially when, we took all that time to be like, did he make a mistake? Giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then ultimately, yes, he did make the mistake. But I still ended up connecting with him and his music and his looping and his techniques and his mix more than I did with Matej. And Matej obviously did his thing, and he's going to keep doing his thing because he's incredible and he's a great performer, and I'm not taking that away from him. But in this moment, I just connected more with SyJo personally, and I wasn't going to let a mistake like that interfere with everything I had seen up to that point. Great songwriting, great lyric writing, great structure and building. A little bit of battle thrown in there at times. A little bit of crowd work thrown in there at times too. Just like the day before, he felt like the full package. His performance this day was definitely a little on the weaker side, but I still think it was enough compared to what Matej was bringing, which also felt a little weaker than yesterday. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this reaction, guys. This one was super tough. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. How do you think you would have reacted in this situation or judged this battle? Would you have voted SyJo? Would you have voted Matej? And if you have an explanation, please be respectful. This is purely for discussion and not for bringing down or putting up any one artist. I've never been a fan of reaction content. I'll just put it out there. But the reason I am making this reaction content is because I believe that the beatbox community deserves more transparency. And if things aren't adding up in the minds of the masses, I want to clear up why, either on my side or open a dialogue for, the community itself to kind of share their experience as well. That's gonna do it for me. Make sure you check out my EP once again, Still Hungry, out on all platforms. Make sure you support SyJo. Make sure you support Matej. Make sure you watch the original video on Swiss Beatbox. Bye bye. Meow meow meow. Wow 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 wow. Wow wow wow.
最後まで見ていただきありがとうございます。これからもこういった動画を投稿していくのでチャンネル登録やコメントなどぜひお待ちしています。次回も面白い内容を用意しているのでベルマークを押して通知を受け取ってもらえると嬉しいです。